Hello, good morning, and welcome to another version of the Dan Beasley Hour. The 7:08 a.m. It's 4/26, 2013. This is being pre-recorded. Uh, our verses today are taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Our topic of discussion is "Woe to the wicked lawmakers." Verse 10. Verse 1 of chapter 10 says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness when they have which they have prescribed, to, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will you do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory? Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still." That is our verse for today. We'll take it one verse at a time. Woe unto them that decree unrighteousness decrees. That would be our Congress. That would be our legislature. That would be our people that are in charge of making the law of the land. That would be our Congress. That would be our president. And says to turn away the needy from judgment, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, I don't know what capital gains changes are in the making or anything like that. They've been talking about that for years, about eliminating the tax, inheritance taxes and things of that nature. But when you get down into where you're confiscating the houses of widows and you're confiscating the houses of the fatherless and the properties, you're really asking for trouble from the Almighty. Verse 3, "And what will you do in the day of visitation, in which the desolation which shall come from far?" It may come from a far distance. We're separated by oceans on two sides, but however means that they come over, they could come over by aircraft carriers, battleships, what have you. You're still not insulated from the danger of war from other foreign countries that are across the oceans. What will you do in the day of visitation, in which the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will you flee for help? Where are you going to go? Where is there in the world left to run to? There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. You'll have to either face the battle or die, one or the other. But he says, "And what will you do in the day of visitation and in the desolation, for we shall come afar? To whom will ye leave your glory? And where would you flee for help? Without me they shall bow down under prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain." That means that some will stand and fight. However, some will not, and some will just fall underneath the people that have died. For all this anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. That means that is not the end of his anger. The destruction of the wicked doing these things to the poor people, to the widows and the fatherless, to the people that are making bad laws, to the people that are taking unfair advantage of the poor. So I think we better keep it in mind whenever we're doing these things, folks. We better give making law a serious thought, because it doesn't affect things just here, in the here and now. It affects things in the future. And this is a prophetic statement from Isaiah. He was one of the major prophets. So I think you better uh, heed his advice, Congress, President, uh, the House of Representatives, the Supreme Court, anyone who's thinking about making laws regarding these poor and needy people. So when you're doing your budget cuts, keep this in mind. This is coming from the Lord Himself out of His own word. So you have been warned. You cannot speak out of ignorance, and you cannot work out of ignorance. And ignorance is no excuse of breaking the law. In the news today, we have a lot of things going on. We have, of course, every day is about that way. I mean, it's a big world, and the coverage is a lot better than it used to be. However, in the day, we've got one soda per day, this is a very minor news piece. They're saying as little as one soda per day can cause you to come down with diabetes, which is causing some schools to give up having them on their grounds. And they have proven that it's caused by dangerous ingredients from carcinogenic artificial colors and phosphoric acid. So if you're looking at just the soda itself and it just making you fat, that's not the case. Um, says notably even diet soda drinkers had to worry about developing diabetes. Well, there's no sugar in it. You can't be putting a pressure on your pancreas. So what is pushing the sugar levels? You got to say there's got to be something else in there that's doing it, folks. And I'm sure they'll probably get to the bottom of it before it's all over with. The local news in South Carolina, where this program originates, in Hartsville, there was a tragedy yesterday. It was a poor tragedy where a South Carolina woman lost 4 of her children in a fire. It was in a mobile home, and they were ages 1 through 4. And it was a terrible thing that happened. And I don't know if any sort of fundraiser has been set up for them or not, but I certainly hope so. And as soon as I find out, I will post that on this site. The next thing in the news is a man that was accused of sending ricin to our president, in an envelope, while dressed as a famous personality, which happened to be an Elvis suit, was found to be not guilty and was cooperating with the authorities. However, they did find that there was another gentleman that was involved that knew both the judge. Let me see, the judge and the prosecutor, I think. And they said that he knows more about the situation, and he's on the lam. He's on the run. He's running away, and they're saying that he's not necessarily guilty. He just does not want to be held up in the limelight at this time. So he's trying to avoid notoriety by being shown in front of cameras and things of that nature. So he is he's a former businessman, and he is on the run. On the Alex Jones thing website today, we're talking about the anti-terrorists were warned of the Tamerlan-Tarsanev long trip to Russia 9 months before the Boston Marathon bombing, and a U.S. counterterrorism task force received a warning that a suspected militant had returned from a lengthy trip to Russia, the United States officials said. Um, and that goes along with what we've been talking about today. You have to go deeper than skin deep on these matters to get to the bottom of the story. It's always so easy to take a first glance and first blush answer and answer a question and get it off your back and move on to something else. But this this begs for more investigation, such as where do these people get all of this money to do all this travel? Where do they get this money to buy all of these explosives? Where do they get the money to buy the vehicles when their mother and father were on welfare and they were on welfare, and one was going to college, and both were married, I think. Excuse me. The police stopped the reports from investigating a fertilizer explosion out west. They're stopping anyone from getting any closer to the factory where it exploded, for fear of other explosions. However, it was a Monsanto plant, and that brings other things to light. Monsanto is getting a bad name across the globe right now for GMO. For you that do not know what GMO is, it's genetically modified foods. They have genetically changed the structure of the DNA inside of the plants to where they can contain carcinogens, they can contain pesticides, they can contain whatever they choose to put in there to try to make this product more sellable and to make it more insect and disease resistant. And in other parts of the news, we've got let me see, we've got other investigations going on, such as the breakdown of civil liberties in Boston, from where it was almost like martial law had broken out. People were going door to door, knocking down doors, and coming in and terrorist garb. They were already dressed and ready to go for facing off a terrorist. And they're claiming now that that was not in the best interest of the public. It was sort of like a shot across the bow of liberty, chipping away at our personal rights and our rights against the unrightful seizure and search and seizure of your personal property that existed back in the day when the Revolutionary War broke out. So we've got all of that going on. Plus, we've got, little wonder, an unprecedented shortage of ammo, physical gold, and physical silver. All of the United States are witnessing an unprecedented shortage of ammunition. Well, where did the ammunition go? Well, we learned that the Homeland Security people bought up a lot of it. But what would stop a foreign country from buying your ammunition? What would stop the government from buying your ammunition? I mean, all of these questions have to be answered. They're saying that the ammo shortage is so severe that police departments are saying that it's going to be 6 months to a year for them to get their orders filled for the ammo. In fact, many police